everybody, welcome to another episode of Widgets and Wonders. This is my show about great products from small companies. Now today, we're going to look at some terrain, MDF terrain, not for 28mm. We're going to look at Impudent Mortal's 10mm line of buildings, ruined buildings in MDF. Now this is a super affordable way to fill up a table. These are some great looking sort of ruined and intact buildings. And that because it's 10mm, you can easily get away with using it for 6mm and 15mm games as well. Now, I'm painting this stuff up for Horizon Wars, which is a 6 to 15, 10, it says 10, but I'd say 15mm game by Roby Jenkins, published by Osprey Games, that uses any mecha, robots, infantry, tanks, and airplanes you want. And you'll see it in lots of battle reports and Let's Play in the future. Until that actually comes out though, I figured I'd show you the buildings right now. So let's have a look at some 10mm terrain from Impudent Mortal. Alrighty, so here is the terrain all painted up. Now there is a selection of models here just to give you a sense of scale. Two of the models are going to be in my Horizon Wars games, and that's a Zentretti Battle Pod and a VF1 Valkyrie in Battle Light mode. But on top here I've got a Space Marine, and the reason for that is if you guys are looking for scale shots, the Space Marine is probably a much better representation of how big this stuff is, because everybody probably knows about how big a Space Marine is. So you can see here there are 7 buildings. There are 1, 2 intact large buildings. They're the Art Deco style ones. They've got kind of a quasi-futuristic, almost like retro-futuristic. Like I love these circular windows. It's got kind of a 70s feel to it. And then I've got 1 small intact building, also done in this sort of Art Deco style. And then 4 destroyed buildings, 1 big one and 3 small ones. Now I just painted these up with a Liquitex spray paint primer and then my airbrush, various grays, beiges, and browns, just to make them look like they've sort of been wrecked for a while. It's got kind of a post-apocalyptic look to it, like this city's been a war zone for quite some time, and I'll have some other matching terrain bits to match it. But I figured I'd show you these. They are wonderfully affordable. I think the small buildings are only like 10 or 15 bucks each. I think the big buildings are 20 or 25 bucks each. So to fill up a table, $100 will probably get you most of a table's worth of scenery for a 4x4 table, just for big blocking terrain. Now, if you want to do a whole city, this is probably one of the better sort of like MDF companies to fill it up with, because the buildings are a really good size. Like these guys are actually quite large as far as 10 or 15 mil like scenery goes. And the small ones even look good on a city block. So if you're looking for big blocks of terrain, they're super simple to put together. They slot together. I used wood glue, of course, to mount all this stuff into the one piece. So it's basically indestructible at this point. Really nice and robust. And the detail on it is fantastic. Like, I don't know if the camera can actually pick this up, but the slats on these windows are minuscule. So like the laser cutting on these windows is fantastic, but it's still really strong. And I had no problem popping out any little extra bits of MDF that were stuck in there without damaging the windows. So kudos to that laser cutting, because I've actually never seen a slat that small in MDF, and I was super impressed when I actually started painting them, just with that level of detail. So they're nice and simple to put together, but the detail is actually really impressive, and they paint up really, really nice. And I'm excited to use them in Horizon Wars, because it's going to give us a nice scale battlescape to play the games in, and I can use them in a variety of scales too. This wouldn't look amiss as a Team Yankee sort of like wrecked cityscape in like the 70s, where it's sort of that time sort of set, and it'll look great even on a desert map, I think, as like a post-apocalyptic sort of like punk rock, the desert has reclaimed the world sort of table. So there it is, a look at Impudent Mortal's 10mm terrain line. Now they do lots of stuff in other scales too. If you're looking for Batman mini terrain, they do some stuff. They have a great subway car set that I'd love to use for This Is Not a Test, because I think trains and Fallout just go together for some reason. And all kinds of other cool stuff, so check them out. There'll be a link to them in the video description below. All right, well, thanks for checking out another great product from a small company. Now, if you know of a product that you think is neat, innovative, and different, and that isn't getting enough attention, you can have them email me at guerrillaminiaturegames@gmail.com, or Facebook message me at facebook.com/outofthebasement-into-the-streets, and I'll do my best to show off whatever it is that's cool that they're doing. So we will see you next week for another Widgets and Wonders. Until then, I'm Ash. Happy gaming.